Mary was damaged recently, and I want to repair her. When I say recently, I mean about 2 years ago. But in my defense, I had to save the world in the meantime. I'll start the repairs tomorrow. But what can you do if there's a better use for the plank? Ivo's hippogriff doesn't seem very happy. Perhaps she's missing her rider. Or she's just hungry. Or both. Critter, what have you done now?
Evil.
Ivo's mother? Oh. Come on, let's get you out of there first. All right, all right. Darn elven magic. Yes, I'll get help. Wait here. Critter attacked this beehive one night. He claims to this day that it was the sweetest triumph of his life. But it was 3 days before the swelling from the bee stings went down. No trace of arbor, but he left this ball of string lying here. Perhaps he was going to tie up bushes with it or something. Shorty won't mind, I think. That's strange. When I was here last, that tree looked a lot happier. At school, I had a teacher who hit us across the fingers with something like that when we were naughty. I stayed the full 2 weeks nonetheless. Education is the key to success. I'll have to be careful. If the queen catches me, there'll be no leniency.
I couldn't allow him to propose to you. What sort of life would you have? You'd have lost him so soon, maybe just 50 years after marrying him. Or were you planning to go into the world with him and get old just like him? That would be terrible, and I told him as much. If one truly loves someone, then it's sometimes better to let them go. You know that I can be very convincing. The human spirit is weak. And perhaps there was a tiny bit of magic involved too. If only I'd known that it was already too late.
That darn witch! It all sounded so right. I was already across the sea when it became clear to me that I might have made the biggest mistake of my life. No wonder Ivo hates me. Her mother must never have told her what happened, or she blamed me for everything. According to Ivo, these are swords belonging to some of those who have tried to conquer the woodland realm. Nowadays, everyone knows it's better not to pick a fight with elves. The king and queen keep gifts given to them by delegations from far-off lands in this room. Some of them are rather bizarre. Bob is still sitting where I left him months ago. Of course, he's not really called Bob, but his elven name is too complicated and long to remember. And he likes Bob. Hey, Bob.
Nate, my boy, what are you doing here?
Your wife has hexed Ivo and imprisoned Critter. I'll free both of them and
I would counsel you to patience, my impetuous friend. What has happened?
The Queen found Ivo in the garden. She's pregnant. Did you know that?
I hope that you are speaking of Ivo and not my wife. Of course I knew.
She's put Ivo into a kind of deep sleep.
Theodora knows wise decisions take time. It isn't a simple sleep. It's a kind of time out. For Ivo, time is standing still until her mother brings her back.
And when will that be?
As soon as she knows how she's going to deal with the situation. That could take months, or even years.
Years? She's got no right to do that. We have to bring Ivo back.
Just like the polecat butters the bread of the barn owl.
I eavesdropped on the Queen. She never told Ivo what happened, right?
What happened? You just disappeared one night.
It was all your wife's fault. She hexed me. I was going to propose to Ivo. The Queen intercepted me and whispered something in my ear.
Her words would have just washed over you had they not found something which they were able to catch hold of.
I thought long and hard about whether I should propose to Ivo. I loved her, but I also loved my freedom.
Gods and the wise call that getting cold feet.
So she could manipulate me because of my feet?
She magnified your doubts and let you lose sight of what was really important, your love for Ivo.
But I didn't want her to have to watch me die. And I certainly didn't want her to come with me out into the world and grow old and die herself.
Would it have not been up to my daughter what sacrifices she would be willing to make for you? She is, after all, the more intelligent one.
After I left the Elfborough, my head still told me I'd done the right thing. I wouldn't condemn Ivo to a life with me, and a goodbye would have been too painful for both of us.
But your heart told you that you were a fool.
Later, I thought I'd found a solution. I'd find a way to live forever. Then I could marry Ivo and we'd never be separated.
Your heart was right. You are a fool.
How can we wake Ivo up?
Without the help of her mother, impossible.
Then we'll have to force her. She can't keep Ivo imprisoned against her will.
You won't have any luck. Fiora will defend her daughter. She thinks she's doing the right thing. But if you can make her see that she was not acting in Ivo's best interests, then I'm sure she would let her go.
I should talk to her?
You'd be dead before you'd stuttered out your first sentence.
Hey! Well, Archmage Alistair's been turned into a frog. By a certain Van Buren, some little brat who's running through Seastone and transforming everything.
A little girl transformed the Archmage?
Yes. No idea how she managed it. Ivo said something about Wilbur's wand. And he's in the dark woods looking for a book that explains how it can be destroyed. In the meantime, Ivo wanted to organize a few things needed to bring the Archmage back.
What sort of things?
Some book from Lorem Ipsum.
The Book of the Dead?
Yep, that was the one. Then we need a compass that belongs to the Red Pirate and something called the Spark of Life. That's why she came back here.
I see. It's crucial we turn Alistair back quickly. He might have answers.
Answers? To which questions?
Something is stirring. A great evil. I have felt it for a while now.
The little brat with the wand?
No. Something older, greater, and a great danger for you, for Ivo, for everyone.
That doesn't sound good. But I wouldn't even know where to start. Ivo didn't tell me very much. Or perhaps I didn't listen.
I have the spark of life here. I will give it to my daughter as soon as she wakes. I can't help you with the compass, though. But I saw the lost city of Lorem Ipsum with my own eyes, long, long ago.
If I were to look for Lorem Ipsum, where would I find the ruins of the city?
Under the sands of the Umzu Desert.
Oh, really? Could you be a bit more precise? The desert's pretty big.
I can't remember the exact location. I set out from the Bremen oasis, went into the desert, and just followed my nose. After a few days, I saw the golden roofs of the town glinting in the sun as it set behind them.
So Lorem Ipsum is west of Bremen. But how far into the desert? How many days did you walk, and how quickly?
It was 3,500 years ago. What did you do last Thursday?
West of Bremen. That's a start. Your wife trapped Critter in the garden. Some thorny tendrils grew out of the ground, imprisoning him.
Oh, an old trick that all priests have up their sleeve.
So novices couldn't sneak out of rituals early, eh?
But the tendrils are very ticklish, especially under the arms.
They... All right, then. Ivo seems to have coped well with me leaving her. Seems to have been in a rush to find herself an elven prince.
No, she didn't take it well. She was hurt and disappointed. And no, she didn't throw herself around the neck of any elf prince.
I don't even want to know. I'd always loved her, but it seems to have been quite one-sided. Take care, Bob. I'll see what I can do to help Ivo and Alistair, or if I can.
I see a man with a mission of great importance that he would like to complete.
Like? All that work? All that danger? The stress? You've got the same attitudes towards stress as I have.
I can see through you, Nate. You made your decision long ago. You just haven't realized it. To do good. Be part of something bigger. Help others. We all need goals in our lives. And the greater the goal, the greater the reward.
I don't know what you're talking about, old man. The tree is legendary. I knew of it long before I met Ivo. The Tree of Life, as it's called, is attributed all kinds of powers. I was a little bit disappointed when I saw it for the first time. To me, it looks like a completely normal, tall tree. Tickle, tickle, tickle. No problem. Now you go and wait on the Mary, okay? The Queen must have ordered the sentries to let the Mary pass. So long as she doesn't give any orders to the contrary, we should be able to enter and leave the woodland realm at any time. I think Ivo has never really got on with her mother, but she has always respected her. Her mother is very hard-working, very conscientious, very clever, but I think Ivo would have liked a bit more affection and warmth from her. When your girlfriend's mother is an elf priestess and you want to make a good impression, you shouldn't call this a swimming pool in front of her. But I meant it in a good way. I even invited her and Ivo's father to join us. Mary and me like a bit of banter. She says I haven't got a clue about flying airships, and that we only stay in the air because she ignores my commands. Ha! People always think that pirates don't care about their appearance. But that's not true. We're just as sensitive as everyone else when it comes to what we look like. You finally managed to get a good beard going. Then people say you looked better without. Hey, Mary.
Captain Nate?
It looks as if we'll be off on our next adventure soon, Mary. Lorem Ipsum, the Lost Desert City.
I'll travel to the end of the world with you, but I'm driving.
Ivo's mother. She's simply switched her off. How dare she?
Switched her off?
Magic elven stuff. If I could, I'd go up there and...
You are not a fighter, Captain Nate. You are... No, wait a moment, you're not really a thinker either. What exactly are you?
A doer, Mary. A doer. What's our course, helmsman? Woman? Ship?
We are at anchor in the harbour and don't have a course.
Oh, play along. You know I like all that nautical stuff.
Course set 2456 degrees north-south, Captain.
Very good. Keep course.
Yes, sir, Captain.
All right. Let me know if there's a problem.
And then?
Ivo tidied up here when we flew back from the Wildlands. At least that's what she called it. In reality, all she did was bring confusing order to my orderly disorder. Navigation isn't a complicated science. I choose a place on the map I'd like to fly to, then I tell the Mary the name of the place and she flies me there. I don't know why other people find it so difficult. All right, then. That's the desert where Lorem Ipsum must be. Wait a minute. I must have a more detailed map of the area somewhere here. The Umzu Desert isn't all sand. There are stony mountains, gorges, and salt lakes. The one thing they have in common is that it's darn hot. That's the old oasis of Bremen. Ivo's father set off westwards from this town and reached Lorem Ipsum at some point. The problem is, I don't know how far west of Bremen the ruins are. The area is large, and if I'm unlucky, the ruins are completely covered in sand. I have to reduce the search area somehow. That's the old oasis of Bremen. Ivo's father set off westwards from this town and reached Lorem Ipsum at some point. The problem is, I don't know how far west of Bremen the ruins are. The area is large, and if I'm unlucky, the ruins are completely covered in sand. I have to reduce the search area somehow. After everything Ivo told me, Seastone is a no-go at the moment. Better that we're not seen there without the Archmage. His human version, I mean. Wilbur comes from around there. Mainly just dwarves and gnomes live there. The White Ridge Mountains are too cold for humans. The Red Pirate kept asking me again and again about his costumes when I was drinking with him. I didn't have the heart to tell him we used some of them as oil rags. A pile of maps, diaries, travelogues, and stuff. I was looking for things that promise eternal life. The Holy Grail, the Philosopher's Stone, the Fountain of Youth, that kind of thing. Harder to find than you'd think. That's why I had the idea with the djinn. At least I knew where to look for him. Wasn't there a book on Lorem Ipsum here? That's it. This is the famous travelogue that reports on the city Lorem Ipsum, in a forgotten language. Scholars claim it speaks of life in the city and of huge wealth, the main reason that this text is so well known all around the world. The author of this diary never found the city, so I don't know if this picture of the city is born of his fantasy or if it's based on descriptions. What's this? The author seems to assign great meaning to these hieroglyphs. If only I could read them. Why didn't the people back then just write under the pictures what they were supposed to mean? I wonder whether... Here. That's what I was looking for. The book describes what the symbols mean. The first one is... a kind of angular stone? Gemstones. Jewels. That's a promising start. The second symbol... Desert. Yeah, makes sense. The city is somewhere in the Umzu Desert. Next. Feet? What have feet got to do with it? Can you only reach the city by foot? The next symbol... 3. 3 feet. That's unusual. Perhaps the last symbol will make it clear. Mountains. Jewels, desert, mountains. The jewel of the desert at the foot of the 3 mountains. That's it. Lorem ipsum. The city with roofs of gold is the jewel of the desert, and it lies at the foot of 3 mountains. And these 3 mountains must be west of Bremen. That should be easy to find. All right, then. Three mountains west of Bremen. I bet Critter's next meal that the jewel of the desert is at the foot of these mountains. I'll mark the place on the big map. There hasn't been an airship visiting Lorem Ipsum for centuries, perhaps millennia, if ever. Time to pay a call to the old city. That must be it. Lorem Ipsum. And it looks like someone has already dug it up for us. A massive thing. I wonder if the mummy pulled it out here on his own. The little guy doesn't look that strong. Mummy with a small spade. I wonder.
Mortimer.
No, I'm Nate. That's Critter.
But I seek Mortimer.
Here? Under the sand?
Why aren't you Mortimer?
I, don't know. Who are you?
I am... Isn't the question more, who are you?
I'm Nate, like I already said.
So you are neither Mortimer nor that elf who was pretending to be Mortimer.
That... Yes, I can confirm that.
So many people. I can't possibly remember all these names. I will call you... Nate.
I can live with that. Who is this Mortimer you're looking for?
Mortimer fetched me out of the darkness many years ago. I lived with him until he disappeared.
And now you're looking for him here?
Looking for whom?
That Mortimer.
You've seen him? I've been looking for him everywhere.
Don't tell me you dug this huge hole.
All right.
I mean, why did you dig it?
I'm not meant to say.
You can tell me. What's the hole all about?
Yes, about that. Why did you dig it?
I didn't. You did.
Of course. I wanted to go home.
So you're from Lorem Ipsum.
Yes. It must be here somewhere.
Have you had a look around?
Ah! Lorem Ipsum! What a coincidence! I was born here, you know.
I'm looking for a book.
I've seen one lying on Mortimer's desk.
I'm looking for a particular book. The Book of the Dead.
Oh, but that's just a legend. That book apparently explains how one can bestow everlasting life on people by wrapping them up in gauze bandages. Poof.
Assuming it wasn't a legend, where would the Book of the Dead be hidden?
Ah, the Book of the Dead. Some say it is mere legend, but I have seen it many times. It was put into the tomb of the last pharaoh of Lorem Ipsum, the mad Tut-Tut.
And this Tut-Tut, where is he buried?
He is lying under a mighty pyramid, just like that one over there. Actually, now that I think about it, it's exactly like the one over there. What do you think? Why would someone put a pyramid here that looks exactly the same as Tut-Tut's?
How do you get into Tut-Tut's pyramid?
Who is Tut-Tut? And what's this pyramid you're talking about?
Ah, forget it.
What should I forget?
Don't mummies have their brains removed during embalmment?
That's funny. I could swear that I've heard that question somewhere before.
I bet. What can you tell me about Lorem Ipsum? What was life here like?
Oh, wonderful. We've always had good weather. We built the most beautiful temples with the most fiendish traps. Sold them all around the world and made a lot of money from that.
You sold temples with built-in traps?
Of course. Walls that suddenly come together and squash any intruder, invented here in Lorem Ipsum. We had breeding programs for scorpions and tarantulas. And we issued a 3,000-year guarantee for our traps.
That means your traps could still work today?
Traps? What traps?
I've got to go. And you? You might want to get out of this sun for a couple of hours.
I've not got time for breaks. I'm looking for a pyramid. It must be here somewhere.
The whole slab is covered with characters. Hieroglyphs, something that looks like Old Dwarvish, and normal letters. At viro eos et accusum et justo duo dolores et ea rebum. That's the same forgotten language as in the lorem ipsum text. Hi.
Who are you? And what are you doing here?
I found this stone slab. What does it say?
It says, "Thank you for your decision to buy this pyramid model world wonder." In 3 languages.
It's an operating manual?
Our lost temples could get rather complicated.
Does it say how to open the pyramid?
Terms of use, guarantee, washing instructions. Ah, there. Erect pyramid facing exactly north. Position obelisk A in depression G on stone socket B with the help of wooden peg F. We recommend the use of slaves for erection, not included in this delivery. Every day at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the shadow of the obelisk will point to the stone which opens the secret entrance.
Why doesn't it just say which stone you have to press? Who would write something like this? I've got to go.
Bye!
A semicircular depression. There are lines and numbers carved into the stone on the inside. Perhaps some kind of calculation? Or something religious? I guess that's the obelisk mentioned in the operating manual. At least I can't see another one. A massive stone plinth with a piece of rotten wood in the middle. Without a replacement for the wooden pin, the obelisk won't stay on the plinth. I can't imagine the whole pyramid was covered in sand. In that case, all this must have been more than 100 meters under the floor of the desert. The sarcophagus is gold-plated. In normal circumstances, I would pocket some of the gold. But it's a bit different if the inhabitant of the sarcophagus is full of beans and still needs it. Hi.
I think that we've met once before, haven't we?
The operating manual mentions something about a wooden pin, and there's some rotten wood still sticking in the hole in the stone plinth.
Yes, we always had issues with the wooden pegs. Wood is easy to craft, but not as long-lasting as stone. I discovered something completely new in Mortimer's hut. Metal.
Metal?
Yes, but not bronze. Much harder, much more durable. I called it ugly super bronze. I brought a sample of it with me.
About the ugly super bronze.
The what?
The metal you found in Mortimer's house.
Who told you about that?
Ah.
One could build completely new types of weapons with this metal. Wood and bronze weapons would be useless. No one must find out until Lorem Ipsum has mastered the secrets of this material.
You're right. Let's examine the metal for the good of Lorem Ipsum.
Absolutely. If we should ever get lazy and start to rest on our laurels, it could result in the town's downfall.
We, wouldn't want that to happen.
No. Wait here. What was I going to fetch again? I was just pulling your leg. I never forget anything.
Thank you.
What for?
So I should put obelisk B onto slab F, or something like that.
What are you talking about?
The instructions! At 3 o'clock, the shadow of the obelisk,
Why are you always saying things that don't make any sense? It's very irritating. Anyway, one also needs a bicycle, has to put 2 into the left-hand column, and then wait until the whole thing has been well roasted.
This depression here, what is it?
That is a sun clock.
Why does the sun need to know what time it is?
No, the sun tells us how late it is.
So how does the sun know what time it is?
Haven't a clue. The shadow of the little stick in the middle tells us for definite when it is time to, do things.
There is no stick in the middle of the clock.
It must have been broken then. I think more has been broken too. Didn't it look completely different here before?
I've gotta go.
Bye!
Here, take this. Thank you. Fits like a glove.
Saila. Oot suureluka.
The Mary should have enough power to heave the obelisk onto the plinth. And the pipe serves as the new connection piece K, or whatever it was. Off we go! Pull, my dear old fatty!
I'll pretend I didn't hear that.
Come on, you can do it! All right. Now slowly. Ah! Well done, Mary.
Did you ever doubt me, little one?
The reed casts a thin shadow on the numbers and lines inside the clock. Okay, it's 2:15. 3 o'clock. The obelisk is casting its shadow exactly on that stone. That must be it. That's it. Let's go.
If I were you, I wouldn't go in there. Traps. Lots of traps. Mortimer just about managed it, and Mortimer is... Mortimer.
He was in the pyramids?
Of course. He is an archaeologist. They always go wherever there are the most traps.
Do you know how the traps in there work?
Naturally. I even invented some myself. I am an enigma, I think.
How about you accompany us?
In there? Whew, it's dangerous.
Come on, I thought Danger was your middle name.
Really? That would be a strange middle name. Walter or Winifred, those are good names. Mortimer's second name is Alfred.
Come on now, get in that pyramid.
In there? It's dangerous in there.
It's important. We need the Book of the Dead to bring a friend back into this world, and he might know something about a great evil that's stirring.
It's like my dear old father used to say. Coyote, snake, bird looking to the left, sun, wavy lines, exclamation mark.
What?
Yes, he was very erudite. And you wouldn't have caught him simply wandering into a pyramid filled with traps.
We really shouldn't go into the pyramid unprepared.
Oh, come on. Danger is my middle name. And it's important. Great evil is stirring.
What?
You can't let me go in there on my own. You have to come in with me.
Okay, if that's how it's gotta be.
I win every argument. It's always been so. Put me on your shoulders.
Do I have to?
Hup, hup. We have 40 days in the desert ahead of us.
We're going into the pyramid.
Which pyramid?
Hey, stop puffing and panting in my ear.
I'm not panting. I'm exhaling dramatically. Onwards, my proud camel!
Nice little place.